Hi, it's me again. So I decided to talk about memories, first memories specifically. And my first memory, like real memory, was when I was 2. It was on my second birthday. My uncle had this motorcycle, and I really, really, really wanted to ride on it. So he hooked me on with bungee cords and whatnot, and took me down the street while I was eating this tube of bubble gum. If you weren't born in the 80s, you might not know. It's just like a toothpaste tube, and it's full of bubblegum. Anyway, so that's my first memory. And I think that's a really good memory to have. It's a happy one. And that's the very first memory I have. Um, I later found out the reason why my mom and my brother are not in that memory is because he harmed himself. Uh, 1 year it was a can, I think. Another year it was a nail on his foot. And both times happened to happen around my birthday. I'm not sure what that was all about. But so I spent my first birthday with the rest of my family, just having fun. I didn't even notice. And then I have memories past that. Usually with my mom, one of my mom's ex-boyfriends, Mel. I really love this man, like a lot. And he had this beautiful dog called High Grade, who was a large German Shepherd. And I was so tiny that I would ride High Grade all around the yard. And we just had amazing battles. He was a glorious steed. Um, he was the best steed. And then he was also in a cover band for CCR. And I love this man. He was so fun. And I used to sneak out of my room and go listen to them play. And so I'm not sure how it all happened, but eventually they just let me sleep in there. They would put the headphones over me, and there was a pillow in the bass drum, and I would just lay there and pass out. And while they were like streaming all sorts of CCR songs, they just jam with me in there. Really good memories, and I have quite a few of them at different moments. Some are very small memories, some are larger. Um, but then angry memory, my first angry memory, I was also sad, and it was from Mel. And I was too young to know at the time, but he was an addict. I don't know if he is or not anymore. That's not my story to tell. But they had they had separated, and he was leaving, and I was sitting on these steps of this split level duplex, and I remember him scooting around to me on these stairs, and he kept trying to engage me, and I remember just yelling at him that he was leaving me. um I don't remember all of the words. I remember bits and pieces of this. Part of it is disassociated for me. Like, parts of it is very cloudy, but I remember vividly other parts. Like, I remember that I yelled at him, but I don't remember the words. I I remember feeling so angry and sad and heartbroken because I didn't understand. I did not understand that adults broke up, or addiction, or any of that stuff. None of that made any sense to me. I was far too young. And that's my first sad and angry memory. My first fearful memory, that was at 4. My mom started dating this man that she met with Mel, and they had all been friends. And after her and Mel had split up, her and this man got together, and shortly after, he actually moved in with us. I don't know. It was the 80s. Things were a little free then. And so my first memory of him is this memory. And I already knew who he was in this memory, and he was already living with us in this memory. And like, the first clear memory of him was him hitting me. And The reason why that was so stark for me was it was the first time I was ever hit by anybody. And it was the first time I was ever talked to by somebody, or like by anybody, in any manner that was unbecoming. And it was a chore day he had decided. And I was sitting in this living room. And in this house, it was a very hot day. And I remember getting to see the specks of the dust floating in the air through the rays of the sun. And I remember it hitting this ugly brown shag carpet my mom had. Sorry, Mom. And I remember sitting there with these socks. So they had given me socks to fold for my first chore. And I was so proud. Holy shit, I had a big kid job. And so I went along and I happily folded these socks. And I was really, really beaming with pride. And this person came into the room, and in my excitement, I said, "Oh, hey, look at these." And I was showing the socks, and I was so proud. And then his face, when I actually looked at it, was this, just blank. And he's, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I just remember going, "What the hell? What?" And I said, "I'm folding socks. Look how good I did." And I handed him them, and next thing I remember is the stinging pain from being smacked. And like a smack, you think, not a big deal. This is the first time somebody ever struck me in my life. And he didn't just strike me. He actually full on whipped his hand around and up-cuffed me and sent me flying. And I remember being on the floor with my hands clenching this brown carpet. My head was stinging, and it was cloudy and throbbing, and it was just like this pounding insane. I mean, if you've ever been hit hard, you know what that feels like. And it was just really, really hard for me to understand. Why would this person both be mean to me, swear at me, and then hit me? Nobody in my life had ever done that. Ever. That's my first memory of that person. I have a lot of other first memories of people, but that last impression that he gave from that moment is what set all of my memories for him. I have to search super hard to try and find some of the fun memories. And I did have fun memories with this person. Their brand of unkind and abusive progressively got worse. As most abusers do, they become very emboldened. And eventually I'm going to talk about why it was able to be quiet, why I didn't talk, why, all of it. I'm going to answer that. But that has nothing to do with my memories. My most joyful memory in my entire life was the day that I had my son. I have the most beautiful child who has grown into the most loving and kind adult who shows empathy and kindness to everybody. Unfortunately, he also has my dark, twisted sense of humor, and that itself is most likely a trauma response for me. I'm not changing it. I actually like being funny, but that was the most joyous occasion. Worst pain for a little bit, but oh man, was it worth it. His cute little face. He was an amazing child. He slept through the night almost exactly immediately. He was just everything they said children weren't. He was respectful and kind. He didn't talk back. I mean, eventually he got there, but it took a long time. That's my most joyful memory. I was 18 for that one. Stay tuned, I'll talk about some more.